Hi guys, welcome to Two Fit One World. It's been a while since I've made a chit chat video, so I thought we'll do that today. I was having a conversation with a friend about solo traveling, about my last Costa Rica vlog, and my friend was just sort of sharing her fears about solo traveling. So I thought I'll make a video to encourage those who do want to travel by themselves, and you don't want to wait for friends or family to come with you. You just sort of want to get out there and see things. This video is for you. If solo traveling is something you want to do and you are looking for some tips on how to do so safely, grab yourself a drink and let's get comfortable. So tip number one, this is sort of a common sense tip. Do your research. Some countries are more suitable to solo traveling than others. It's just the reality of it. Some countries are safer than others. There'll be a lot of factors that play into your experience as a solo traveler. I think for me, the most important thing for me is safety, having people around who are very helpful and very friendly, and just having an option of things to do so you don't get bored. And different countries would differ in terms of what they can offer in these things. So really, really, really do your research. Just looking at experiences of people that have gone, reading up on people's experiences, watching videos like this, for me, is the most helpful way to go. If you are a woman like myself, ensuring that it's particularly safe for women as well. If you're a Black person like myself, ensuring that it's particularly safe for Black people as well. So when I decided to go to Costa Rica, the first thing I did was I went on one of the female solo traveler forums that I'm on Facebook, and just typed in Costa Rica and just read up experiences of women like myself who've been solo traveling. You're going to be going out in the evening and things like that. You don't want to go somewhere where you then stay indoors because you're so scared of what is outdoors. So do your research on just the safety of the country that you want to go to. Number two, I think this one is particularly for those like myself who can sometimes feel paranoid when you're outside and you feel like everyone is out to get you. Share your itinerary with your family. As a solo traveler, I always think it's a good idea to sort of plan your trip. So normally when I travel by myself, I don't really make an itinerary. I sort of get there and figure it out. But when I travel alone, because I'm reliant on myself to have a good time and nobody else, I can't sort of, pick brains with someone. It's very important for me to do my research and plan out things that I may want to do for my trip, and book things beforehand if possible. And then I share that with my family. So when I went to Costa Rica, I made an itinerary of the activities I was going to be doing, what hotels I was going to stay at, when I was going to be at what hotel, when I was going to transition, how I was transitioning from one part of Costa Rica to another. And I sent that to my family via email, and I shared it with some of my friends as well. So, just having people that you love and people who care about you, knowing where you are, helps you feel better about your trip. And it also helps your family feel more comfortable about the idea of you being out by yourself. And similarly to sharing your itinerary with family or friends, you can also share your location with them on WhatsApp if you have WhatsApp in your country. For me, I find that to be very helpful. I was in Costa Rica, and if I would go clubbing by myself, or if I would go somewhere where I felt a bit unsettled, I would literally send my friends my location of where I was, just to be on the safe side, because you want to feel safe, they want you to feel safe, and they want you to feel safe, which then helps them feel safe about you feeling safe. And safety is important. So honestly, sharing your location at all times. Tip number 3, downloading apps to meet people. So if you are someone who, you struggle with just like introducing yourself to people and just talking to people, you want to have fun, which for me is a big part of solo traveling, just the freedom to meet people, hang out with them for however long I want to, and then just go off and do the next thing. You can download apps. So people use Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, and things like that. You can say to people, I'm in the country for a few days, I'm going to be hanging out in this cafe or this. If you're free to meet up with me, that would be great. It's an easy way to meet people for a day or two and then off to the next. If you're not someone who's comfortable using apps, which I completely get, the easiest way for me to meet people is by talking to people who offer me really good customer service. So if I have a taxi driver who I felt really comfortable with, I would ask the person, share their number, and maybe ask them if they can be my driver for the whole trip. And you end up spending a lot of time with them. They recommend things. that locals do and so on. If you go to a restaurant and you get a really good service from someone, just say to them, you know, I'm here for a few days, is there anything you recommend? If they're kind enough, they might even invite you out. That's happened to me a few times. Go into shops and things like that. When you see people working there, just having conversations with people. Get really comfortable with putting yourself out there and just speaking to people and saying, I'm in the country for a few days, is there anything you recommend? And you'll be surprised with how much, you know, great experiences you would end up receiving from just being friendly and opening yourself up to whatever is out there. Tip number 4, this is for those people who want fantastic pictures like myself when you travel and you're just not really sure how to get those pictures. The best thing you can do is just get yourself a tripod and take your own pictures yourself. Don't wait for people to get pictures of you, because many times it will end up being blurry and you're not going to be happy about it. Get a Bluetooth tripod where you can set your tripod wherever you want. Get the angle you want, look at it, take a tester picture, see if you're happy with it, and then just pose and click. Get comfortable with taking a picture of yourself in public, even if a few people might stare. You'd be surprised that people don't really care about what you're doing. They just sort of walk along. You might get the few stares here and there, but just generally, people have things to do and places to go, and you taking pictures is not a big part of their day, you know. So really get comfortable with taking your own photos with a tripod. Also, on photo taking, again, getting people who offer you really good customer service to get you photos. So if you have a taxi driver who's taking you everywhere, get them to take photos of you. If you go to a restaurant, get the person who works there to help you take photos. If you are in a hotel and you experience good service, just ask someone who works there to take a nice photo of you by the pool. I find, especially with hotel staff, if you want to get good photos, it's best to ask them during sort of a time period that isn't busy for them. So not lunchtime, not dinner, not breakfast, because they would have their hands full. Get comfortable asking people to help you take photos, or you taking your own photos. It's honestly not as daunting as it sometimes might seem. Tip number 4 is something I do all the time. The worst thing to happen on a trip will be for you to lose your card and have no way of accessing money. So every time I travel, I take 2 sets of credit cards with me, or just a debit card and a credit card. I always take 2 cards with me. I always leave one in the hotel safe and take the other with me when I go out. If you don't have 2 cards, I would suggest you take out cash. I personally don't like taking out cash because I end up with cash that I don't spend. I'll suggest you take out cash, leave your card in your hotel safe or your Airbnb, whatever you are, in a safe, and take your cash with you. The worst thing would be for you to take everything you have, all your sorts of money with you, and you lose it and you're by yourself. It just, you know, things like that really ruin your experience. So ensuring that you leave a backup credit card in a hotel is very, very important for you to feel safe as a solo traveler. You don't want to have no access to money and be by yourself. Stress. Sounds like a very stressful situation. That's never happened to me. That can never happen to me. I need that to never happen to me. So I'm always leave a backup card in the hotel safe. Similarly with the cards, if you need an ID, if you have a driver's license, I suggest you do that. Or take a photo of your passport or your driver's license and use that as your proof of ID where you go out. You don't want to be traveling and holding your passport with you, because if you lose that, a 5-day trip might now end up being a 2-week trip, and you know that annual leave that you couldn't afford, that you didn't have, and now you're getting unpaid annual leave, and everything is stressful, and you're thinking, why did I take my passport out to go kayaking? Did I need to do that? My passport is now in the bottom of the ocean. Was that something I needed to do? No, it wasn't. Always leave an ID that you travel with and a backup credit card in the safe, please. It's very important you do this. We forget these things. You go out of your cards often. You think your card will never get stolen, and then it does, and then you're stuck in the country. You don't want that to happen. So make sure you leave a backup card in the safe, please. Number 5, this is for those of you who feel really paranoid and feel like you might get kidnapped at any point and no one's going to know where to find you. It's not something I do, but it's something I've recommended to friends to do. Share your emergency contacts with your hotel staff. You can tell your hotel staff as well, like, I'm going to be coming back at this time, this is my emergency contact, just in case. It's not something I've done, or I don't think I'd ever do it, but it might help you feel more comfortable. Remember, this is all about you feeling more comfortable and more confident to travel and to feel safe whilst traveling. So if this is something that you feel like will help you feel safe, do it. Share your emergency contact, just a name and a phone number with your hotel staff. Have them save that, and if anything happens to you, that's who they need to call. But nothing's gonna happen to you, don't worry. Nothing's gonna happen. Number 6, last but not least, because this is actually a very important one, download an offline version of Google Maps or whatever equivalent maps you use on your phone. Please download an offline version. The worst thing is you're wandering around this new country by yourself, it's late in the evening, your internet is working, you're feeling great, you're using Google Maps to figure your way out, and then for some reason you get to an error and your internet is no longer working, but you can't remember how to get back to where you started from. You know, this happens to the best of us. Have a downloaded map on your phone, an offline version, so that if this does happen to you, you're able to just very quickly get back to where you're coming from. This is something I've done in the past. This is something a lot of my friends who solo travel have done as well, and they found to be very helpful. I remember being in Italy with friends and we sort of got lost, but thankfully one of us had a map downloaded on our phone and we're able to find our way back to our hotel. So that is something that is my last tip on how to feel safe and get you feeling more comfortable while solo traveling. So that is all from me. I hope this video has been very helpful to you. I hope this really encourages you to get out there and, you know, to not live in fear and just feel more confident and do things to help you feel more confident, so you can go out there and really experience the best that this life has to offer. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching. I know I'm not someone who posts a lot, so I really appreciate you still following me and still watching my video. This year is going to be a better year for all of us. I know it, I believe it, and I hope you do too. I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching and thanks for sticking with me. Bye. Dun, 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 dun. Hey. Dun, 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 dun.